This episode is brought to you by twolinedmusicutstore.com. Twolinedmusicutstore.com is your all-access to culture. Check out cultural merchandise like leggings, hats, mini boxing gloves, and bags. Also t-shirts like hip-hop, nature, rock bands, reggae, and dark fantasy. Fast shipping worldwide. That's twolinedmusicutstore.com. Now let's check out this episode. There was one legendary moment, or it might have happened a couple of times that I remember, when there was a 9-sound clash on IRA FM.
Yes. How that started, I opened a club in St. Elizabeth.
Okay.
The club was called the Occasions nightclub. And when I opened that club, I brought 9 sounds. There, it was a sound system festival. 9 sounds, right? I mean, the sounds started coming from 7 o'clock in the evening, and by the next morning, now 5 o'clock, sound still coming in. It's tricky. It was actually 2 days affair. All right. So I took that idea to my boss, because there was one here. He says he didn't know what he wanted to do for White River Bash. So I said, okay. Let's do a sound system. Let's do a sound system festival, And he says, okay, put it together. Now, Bass Odyssey, right, was just a little sound in the country, buzzing. Nobody knew about Bass Odyssey. Kilimanjaro was a song from the 80s, but it was actually sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and I decided, I said, okay, I want to bring Bass Odyssey, Kilimanjaro, Leagues Unlimited, Scorpio, all of these songs.
I think African Star was in one of those two.
Was there, yes. African Star. I don't even remember some of the songs that I brought. Mm-hmm. But that was the first 9 songs in one location at the first sound system festival ever in Jamaica, right? And from that, Bass Odyssey took off, and Kilimanjaro was a sleeping giant.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up, and from that, Kilimanjaro was there. Kilimanjaro was before, was going on, but there was a time when we was low. But I knew potential. I knew what Kilimanjaro is, sounded nice, so I decided to bring him in there.
Because they were more to rub it up, say they were in the 80s doing a lot of their stuff. But what you're doing in the 90s, the business had changed. There wasn't no real bunch of DJs standing up around. So right. They needed to reset the Kilimanjaro legacy at that point there.
So we just reset the Kilimanjaro and we brought Bass Odyssey up full-fledged now to the world. They did. They were at my 9-song clash that I had in Vybz Kartel also. But because they didn't have the radio thing and all that, it wasn't out there on that level. But when we took it, did it at the White River Park, it hit the world big time.
Okay, so White River Reggae Bash was an extension of IRA FM. That was part of the brand. Right.
White River Reggae Bash was owned by Carlium and owned by IRA FM also.
Mm-hmm. Because I know with IRA FM, you guys really changed the whole radio game, because at one point you could almost get away with playing anything on radio until after a while, I think I forgot what the broadcast commission, they changed everything and censor it. But initially, IRA was basically getting away with playing anything on the radio.
No, I would not say they were playing anything on the radio. They were, they were always censored. It's just because you just to hear reggae that you would not hear elsewhere.
Got you.
Right? Because trust me, the jocks there, they were really die-hearted in presenting quality. So they weren't really playing derogatory music or anything like that. It's just that IRA FM was more down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
Right? IRA FM now, we, like I said with RJR, they want you to be the English speaking person that you're not. Right? IRA FM now, what made IRFM, we reached the people on their level. The people could understand us. Like we could bilingual. Because I'm bilingual. I can go deep, I can go, roots, flat talk, and I can come back and, talk with the kings and the queens. But IRFM gave you the opportunity to be fully on the people's level. So they understand us. Right? And one of the things that we took and made IRFM, we used to play a lot of new artists. Because I can safely say I have a whole lot to do with a lot of the big artists that made it big from in the 90s.
Take your time and let's go through these stories here and who it was.
Yes. IRFM, we used to take artists, unknown artists. We play them. And I figured out that if I'm going to play a music from an artist that nobody knows, but that artist knows 3 or 4 people. The 3 or 4 people know 3 more people. And if 3 or 4 more, they know more people. So if he knows I'm going to play his music tonight, he's going to tell the 3 people he knows. The 3 people that he knows will tell another 3 and another 3. And that is what we use to bring IRFM to number 1.
That's what you call classical guerrilla marketing.
Yes. We just used to take the grassroots artists without any name, and we just I personally used to do that. That's me. I used to just take artists without names and play them, and I didn't even know they were going to be the stars they are today. And they would tell somebody else, and that is what made Irie. Before, when I went to Irie didn't have a library. We had to walk the streets. We had to go to record shops and collect music. I used to the Christmas catalog. That was put together by myself and Big A and the same Mighty Mike and Gary G. We used to walk and go to the record stores and go down to Sonic Sounds and all these places, Channel One, go to these places and collect records and carry to build IRFM library. Build up, and of course, we play. We didn't really play from the library per se. We play from our own collection, because we built up our own collection and things. But we still had to try to put a library together, right? So we built IRFM. I can safely say I am one of the person that has built IRFM. Anybody else that comes in after Mighty Mike, may his soul rest in peace, G.T. Taylor, Gary G, Big A, Andrea Williams, Bob Clark, okay, Dion Mattis, right, and Al Gallimore. Anybody else that comes in after them, right, is IRFM build them.
Crazy.
Anybody else that comes in after IRFM build them. We built IRFM. We were the grassroots. Then I'll give Elise a little nudge in there too, because she came in after me and put in her tidbit. Right? Muta came in after too. So anybody after that package that you hear I'm talking about here now is built. And IRFM is a station like this. If you put a dog on there, and the dog can bark good, the dog can be a number 1 big bad dog.
Yeah.
All the dog need to do is to bark good. Right? I see a lot of people come there and do night program and come and cry tears. I have stuck to the night program from that time till today.
Wow.
I was offered other times. I could be doing daytime, prime time. And I say, no, I'm staying with my nighttime program. Because, like I always say, in the day, people hear things. In the night, they listen. Right? And half of Jamaica is up in the nighttime, and you'll be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, another half of the world, when it's nighttime, it's daytime, morning time, or evening time. So, I'm reaching a wide audience with my nighttime program.
You're hitting your numbers.
I also learned it's not the amount of time you're on radio, how effective you are when you're on.
100%.
That's what I learned, and I use it to my best way that I could, to my ability, the way to help me and to put me through, because I use what I have to get what I want. Right?
For sure.
And we built IRFM. We helped to build IRFM, and it has now become it's a monument. Proud of it, and we are hoping that the young ones will continue.
Some of the artists that you brought to prominence, were you seeing them at complete zero to turn into super megastars?
Yes. Bounty Killer. Starting with Bounty Killer. Bounty Killer, when I used to go to jammies, for, getting my dub plates or getting music, Bounty Killer used to sit on the wall on the outside. Right? He used to sit on the wall on the outside and on the inside. Right? And, people, some like R&B used to say, yeah, Brother Bridget, and I'm good, and thing. Jammies then, used to, no one can bring him in. And then when I got my first thing for him, and I took it to Irie, and I played it, a lot of people say, oh no, this is going to happen. But I don't know if he got radio played before, but I know that after I start playing him on Irie, the rest is history. Right? When I brought Scare Them Crew to Irie, again, I was even ridiculed by some of my peers some of the time saying, why are you carrying these some of these artists that make up so much noise? I'm thinking that, and see today, same noise artists, the Elephant Man and the Nitty Kutch, Harry Toddlers, and these artists became stars. Right? Luciano was another artist that he was actually not known, zero. And he used to hang out to the studio by the name of Castro Brown Studio, Jackie Brown's brother.
Yes.
Right? Had this studio, right? And of course, that's where he used to hang out, right? Of course, I used to go there. And when I got a record from him, I took the record, right? And I took it to Irie. I gave it to Winston Williams, and I also gave it to Rich, and I took it to Irie. And when Luciano heard music and heard his song being played on the radio, Luciano, when I went back to the studio, the man offered to lift me up, and like I couldn't walk. They want to clear the way that I'm walking. He had so much gratitude that by the time he went away, I don't know what happened, but he get a little, I don't know what, it wasn't he went away to do. And he come back, he bring a hat back for me. It's the first time that I cap in a hat.
Yeah.
He says, Father, this will bring for you. Yeah. And, the rest is history in Luciano. So Luciano, Scare Them Crew, Bounty Killer. Beenie Man, we got close because I took Beenie Man to my club in Braziver. At the time he wasn't really huge, and I introduced him down there to the people. And from that we got close, and I just started to, really give him a lot of presence on my program, and that has, helped to catapult him up, to the superstar that he is, So there's a lot of people. Lady Saw also is another one that I did not introduce her, played her first at Irie, But I gave her music to Richie B and Winston Williams at RJR. So that they, they didn't know anything about her. So I gave them, and so she got some her plug on that end heavily. And then when I started Irie, I gave her a good run also.
Crazy.
So
One name I want to ask you about: Garnet Silk.
Garnet Silk, Bimbo. Bimbo. He's from St. Elizabeth, Manchester to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Manchester. He used to DJ. We used to come up. There was a song he used to DJ on in St. Elizabeth, and we used to meet and greet down there. Long before he got his big break, he got his as a DJ. All right. After that, when he moved into the singing world and started to sing, I was one of the person. I'm not gonna really take that accolade off, saying I had a whole lot to do with Garnet Silk. I play a lot of Garnet Silk, and we did help him to go through. And also, but my brother Mighty Mike, he's the one that really, have a whole lot to say where Garnet Silk is concerned. But we were very close in this, and we always, because I am a reggae lover. I am into hard, just real reggae music. Mm-hmm. And any artist that is presenting reggae, they have my heart. So Garnet Silk was one of the giants that I know, right? We used to go to Scorpio studio, and Scorpio was one of the man that Jack Scorpio that has a lot of Garnet Silk songs, and he used to give it to us, and we took Garnet Silk out some more. All right, Everton Blender was another one that we also helped to catapult to megastar. Mm-hmm. So many of them, I can't even put my memory on them right now.
I'm gonna throw out a couple of names here then. Since you're the dancehall master, let's think about somebody like Spice.
Okay. Spice. Now, when I got the first music, there's a record. Spice was introduced to me by a guy from in South Manchester by the name of Mr. Steele. Right? He said, boy, he has this little girl and she sounds good. Okay? And I must listen to her. And because at the time I was one of them owners playing that type of music. When I got her music, and her, she had this song. She had a shout that she used to say, "Yo!" Right? And I said, "No, this is something." All right. And when I played that song the first time on Irie FM, and I said, "This girl is gonna be a force to reckon with. Listen to this song from this girl." And when I played the song, trust me, it started to resonate. And then after that, we introduced something else that should pop up already. Introducing dancehall into clubs.
Okay.
Right? I also brought dancehall night into club. Mm-hmm. The club that started it was a club called Cactus. Mm-hmm. Over there in Portmore. Mm-hmm. All right. Because of my presence and friends with the crew and all of that, them approached me and asked if I could come to the club with the dancehall. And I had a contract with them for every Thursday night. I took the dancehall program to Portmore. And then we always used to have shows, and then we used to introduce young artists. So we used to bring in Spice. Right? One of my first major presentation of Spice, she did an appearance on at Skateland on Song with Ninja Man.
Yes.
Then Stone Love had an anniversary, and I was the MC, and she was out there, and she won. She was not billed for it. Mm-hmm. And I told her I'm going to bring her up. And as somebody the other day sent it to me, that they say it on TikTok. But I says, I bring her, I call her Spice. I said, Spice, when GT call you, you must come. Introduce her on stage at the Stone of Anniversary. She wasn't, I mean, she had a presence though, but she was not accepted because she was still coming up. So I have something also to do in her presentation, in her early stage going forward. And she always showed me the respect by that, by always, telling me thanks. She said a lot of jingles and things for me and dub plates and all of that, say that I used to be one of the, because they had some disc jocks at the certain time. They didn't really want to look at her music.
Okay.
And I was the one of the person. And I have to say, no respect to the brethren that called Mr. Steele from Manchester. He introduced her music to me. I had a chance to, let the public hear Spice. So Spice was another one.
Crazy. Another one, since we're talking about Spice, Vybz Kartel.
Adidja Palmer. That's another one that I saw, and used to present, I was another one that I used to play his music first also. We were so close that he used to keep a dance every, I think I remember, but it used to be once a year, over La Ruse. And I was one of the only radio jobs that he wanted there and had there. And I used to be, always have to be there, both playing the music and presenting him and doing his thing in his early years, where nobody used to see Kartel. And I, I saw the talent in him, and I used to, there was a manager that I used to manage him before by the name of Butler. First manager that used to really, thank me. That I even did a music production, and I was able to produce it. I had the only production with him and Mavado. Get to Ambition. It's called. The only song with Mavado and Kartel. The only song is on the rhythm that I have, laminated rhythm. It's like an anthem in the dancehall.
Crazy.
That was one of the thanks he gave to me when he did that song. And that was into a time when they had the feud was him, Mavado and him. They were kind of close. They were close. They didn't have that big feud at the time. And, it's a lot of things, man.
Okay, I want to get into some of your interviews because you mentioned Bounty, you started playing his thing there. I know you were one of the first people to give him an interview also. Talk about that.
All right. Well, that is something wow. I decided because I was so close to both artists. And when they had that feud, it was really devastating to me. It hurt, it hurt me a whole lot because knowing the two of them, and I had also to know one, if I play a Bounty, a Beenie would screw. So I said, but I don't like, the two artists, they meant a whole lot to me because Bounty mother, Miss Ivy, she loved me a whole lot. We were very close, and she loved me because I used to bring Bounty to the forefront. I really look out for Bounty Killer in terms of playing his music and telling people about Bounty. Right? Be the Man, on the other hand, now was close to me on another level. Now, when this feud happened, and then they were at it, I'm telling you, it was really scary, right? No, I said, no, it can't go on, but I need to get them. We need to have them together. So I decided as a Bounty. I called him up and said, no, look, we have to put an end to this. We need to talk, man. You and Beenie need to come together. All right? And I called Beenie. And I said, look, and Beenie was really ready for it. But, Bounty was kind of, Bounty is, Bounty's Bounty. But anyway, we pursued. No. Also, the night when it happened, when the two Bounty Killer came in the studio in IRFM ground, the parking lot first, with about 50 or more people. The whole entourage, the whole CPU, you know. And I said, Jesus. Then after someone called me and said, Beenie coming with another entourage. My boss him got scared now and he called the police and said what's going on. And the police came in and okay, they came in and got manager one crew on one side and the other crew on the other side. We managed to get Bounty and Beenie into studio. And there we started the interview. And it was a little harsh at the first. And then, you know, they start to get around and then one will say, you know, why you do this? And then this one said, because me do this. And, you know, they was at each other for a while in studio. And until after they start to see a little bit eye to eye, you know. And then I said, brethren, look, we're one people, you know, right? We're one people. This is one goal, right? Jamaica, reggae, dancehall music, going forward, right? The world is looking at both of you now. So right now, right, let's throw that animosity aside and shake hands. And the two artists got up and shook hands right there in studio. If it was this time when all this camera thing, I would have it documented. Yeah. So happens that after that, I think, I don't know if it's TDG or CVM, they had them. Because after that, now they got together and they decided no, and they had them, and they say, want to say that they made them come together for the first time. But that's a lie. GT interviewed them first and let them shook each other hand that night in studio. And came out and decided that they were going to unite going forward. They didn't really unite for a long time after that thing, but it wasn't as harsh as before. That was one of my most scary interviews I had. Talk about artists on the forefront again. Now, there was another artist that used to be, you know, in the dancehall that people used to didn't want to listen to him, didn't want to give him any shows. I didn't want to allow him to do certain things because guess what? They say his complexion, and he comes from uptown. Talking about Sean Paul. See Sean Paul today, tomorrow. I was the first one to bring Sean Paul on a stage at a cartel dance over Portmore.
What?
With the elbow of Sean Paul, and nobody wanted him to come on stage. I brought him on. And Sean Paul, I'll never forget that, really. Anywhere he go, he would have said that, JT, when they used to elbow me, gave him a present.
The real dancehall master boss. Now I understand, and everybody would really understand if they didn't understand before, why you are called the real dancehall master.
Well, I don't know what got that name doing. I really can't tell you. But people just calling me, and then I got it in a jingle from who I got it from. I think it's the Bounty Killer, and it was used, and then Beenie, and then it was I don't know how much of a master, but and then I have a barrage of dub plates, so when I go into the dance, we draw them, and you know, I could stand up to beside any selector as a radio jock. I was one of the only radio jock that could really go both ways of presenting bilingual, like I would go the hardcore dancer, present the you know, and rock the crowd without, you know, being and using the pretty radio radio thing, you know, down to earth. So that is one of the things that maybe the dancehall master thing stop.
Okay, so then since you're saying you went into the dances and did a lot of those stuff there, when did the whole GT Taylor, David Rodigan vibe start?
Wow. How did that start? Oh, Suzy Q And Baga Brown, well, it was Susie Q, came to me and said that she's bringing David Rodigan to Jamaica. Nobody want no radio man want to play with him. So he said, would you play with him? I said, sure. You know, and I took up the challenge. And trust me, that was one of the only time I think that David was well whipped. But yeah, I'm gonna say this now because I won the clash, but they gave it to David Rodigan the night. Susie Q and Baga Brown, right? I won the clash. All the top people were there. King Jammys, Jack Scorpio, all the Cape Town, everybody, right? And when it reached a point, everybody started to go because the GT win the clash already. And everybody got it. When everybody gone out the lawn, when everybody went gone out the lawn, Susie Q took the mic and said, David Rodigan win the clash. David of himself was packing up and going as a GTO one. And he was shocked when Susie Q said he won. David met me, where was it? Before we clashed in New York. Yeah. He met me and said, GTO won the clash that night.
Yeah.
Right? And I said, well, that's how it is, you know? And then we went to New York now this guy at Nagasaki, right? This guy, my junior, brought me there with David, and you know, he says, "Yo, David, I'm murder you up here, you know, because English people are here." And I said, okay. Well, one of the things, you know, you give respect, you get respect. Right? Because I watch a lot of clash with David Rodigan and other people and bad selectors who even outplayed Rodigan. But because of disrespect, they end up losing the clash. I give Rodigan all the respect. Some people, even at the clash down there, what we did in St. Anne's Bay, people were saying I give him too much respect. You know, but I give as David. David is a big man. He has done a lot. You have to give him the respect, and that is what we are trying to push in the business: respect within dancehall. You know, I never go and tell him about sucking mother and all that. No. And he's not going to, so yes, I give him too much respect. Anyway, go to New York and there's this guys say, there are ton load of English people planning to come to the dance for some David support. And New York people love David because he's been there and he has done a lot of clashes and he kills himself, So I said, boy, I'm going. And the night of the clash, I put my thing together and go on to my thing. David played, I played, and make him big talk. Well, I make back some big talk, and then him draw a super cat, man. Wicked this super cat, in the box. But the talk, he made a talk, I say. Him go draw the bad man DJ out of the dance hall, out of West Kingston. It's this DJ super cat. When and him draw the play, I'm done. I said, David, respect, the thing, to a level. But I live it. Super cat is not the only bad man DJ in the dance hall or come out of the dance hall. I'm playing a DJ right now that is known as one of the bad man of dance hall. Instead of a look. When I put on a tune with the artist Sammy Dread, M16 rhythm. When the M16 rhythm started to creep in, and start to, and the bass started coming, David started to change colors. You could hear the roar. Imagine a white man. You could hear the roar. Sammy Dread was in Texas. And Sammy Dread called me the next day and said, GT, the amount of money I'm making right now from this no plate. And from that, and David started, I just started showing tune back there. I tried to give him the color. I played when I play. Him say I can't play in a combination. I draw one of the wickedest combination for him. You know, him hold him head. Right? I draw a berry salmon and a cocoa tea. Well, him come at the time and he said, "Boy, splice." I said, all right, you think it's splice? And I play about that. I said, okay, combination, berry salmon, cocoa tea, and bounty killer. David started to pack up in box. But we went to Canada and then beat me in Canada. You know, I was kind of laid back, you know. So I thought you call us, you win some and you lose some.
Of course.
You know, and David and me, you know, we had that good rivalry. You know, I respect him a lot. He knows the music. You know, he has presented it. And I salute him every time. So Rodigan. You know, and he respects me too. You know, so he won that one in Scarborough. So I won the one in New York. He won that one in Scarborough. And we went to Montreal, and I beat him in Montreal.
Okay.
So, you know, we have a back and forth thing. We were supposed to take it now, continue to England, but somehow he keep turning down. He keep turning down. So David, you know, I'm still waiting. You know, we want to meet in on your ground, you know, on the turf, on your home ground. So, but due respect, you know, we had a good time. So I've done it. You know, I have played in with a lot of dances, a lot of songs. You know, made a mark and present Jamaica music at its best, because that is what really, you know, helped to carry this great music of reggae.
For sure.
Yeah.
There was one thing you brought up too. You said you had started promotions from back then. You had your clubs and all that. But one thing a lot of people would know you for right now is the GT Christmas Extravaganza. How did you come up with that there?
That started as a dance. You know, like I'm a dance man. I met my now wife. You know, I have to lift my hat to her. She has helped to made me what I am today. Support. So I say to my wife Carla, wherever you are, I love you madly and thanks much. She's from Black River. She's the one that pulled me into Black River where I'm living. Right? After we had the club in Braze River, she said we could do something in Black River. So I decided to do a dance. When we used to, when I met her, I used to go and visit her, you know. And on Christmas night, we drive around in town. Black River, there's nothing to do. Black River is quiet. I mean, nothing to do. So I said, you know, boys, you know, we need something. We need to be, you know, we need to do something. And they said, yeah, you know, on Christmas night, you know, put on something. No, I didn't want to do it at Christmas night because we had White River Reggae Bash going on Christmas night in Mochi, so I didn't want to go. So I did it on a Christmas Eve night at the wharf in Black River. Right? And I started out with songs. How it came by the name of Christmas Extravaganza, because when I did it, I had about 3 songs. I had Jack Scorpio, Kilimanjaro, and there was another song, I think it was Lee's Unlimited.
Okay.
All right? And a ton of other artists came turned up. I mean, artists, because I'm playing them on radio, and they know I'm doing a thing, they're doing a dance, everybody come. And they said, then they said, DT, this is not a dance, it's an extravaganza. And from that's the starting of extravaganza. After that, I took it, I said, I'm going to keep it as a show, and I took it to Independence Park. I do it on Christmas Eve night. right? We did it there for quite a while, but it wasn't really working out because on Christmas Eve night in Black River in these towns, people walk the streets. It's a carnival in the streets. It's
Mhm.
Grand Market, them call it.
Grand Market, yeah.
Not paying to come into a show because you have sound systems all over the place, and
Mhm.
we did it there, for a while. One year I moved it to Front Hill Beach, where they didn't do bad down there,
Mhm.
and then now I took it back to Independence. But then right after that, they stopped doing. My boss stopped doing the White River Bash.
Mhm.
And I said, okay. He says, okay, use the Christmas night, GT. And I switched it to Christmas night. And after it started, it didn't start to show any real, growth until 11 years after that.
11 years in.
11 years.
One thing I know with this journey that we're talking about is once you're committed to something, you're committed to something all the way.
Yes. I wasn't doing it to make money. I was doing it for the love and, to see. I love to see people enjoy themselves.
Mhm.
And that is why I put it on and make it possible that some of these people that side of Jamaica could see some artists. Right? And, so thank God we have presented some of the top artists in Jamaica. I presented them to the people there. Then after that, it started to grow. And it happened, continued for 19 long years.
Mm.
It was about to go into the 20th year when the lady COVID. Yeah.
Well, it just gives you more time to really plan year 20 to when everything starts to really come back around.
Yes, a lot of people ask me to go virtual with it and all of that, but I'm not the one. At this stage, the virtual market it's for Jamaica and promoters here. It's not under our control yet. We don't know it that much to do it. Plus, there's a lot of hacking.
Yeah.
If you don't get the sponsor, the real sponsor to and you can. I see a lot of virtual things, and if I'm going, extravaganza is at a level. I cannot present it lower than the standard. That's where it's at, right? So I have to have the presentation, and what it takes to do it. You need certain sponsorship to do it, right? So that's why I don't. I leave it, and say, hey, I'm not touching the virtual world, right? Because you can spend the money, but you're not going to make the money.
Yeah.
You have to have the sponsorship, which is kind of hard for where Jamaica shows are concerned. See, some Sunsplash, some Fest tried it. They didn't try it again after. Because it's hard.
Yeah.
You have to put in actually more production into a version.
For sure.
More than what you do on if you want to do it, to keep the standard up. Right. So I leave it until when we see where this pandemic is going and we know how the protocols are and how safe people will be. I will feel.
Yeah. Makes sense.
To go to an event.
All right. This is what I want to do. I got a couple more questions, but I want this to be the part one because I definitely want to sit down with you a few more times because your mind, your insight, what you bring to the table is nothing short of amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, nah, man. I knew when I was sitting down, I said, yes, I want to talk to you. Even after Big Him Up, it was Michaelis that actually gave me the connect. Say, yo, GT's his people. So I talked to GT. So I said, you know what? I knew it was going to be a good conversation. I knew it was going to even be a great conversation, but I didn't know it was going to be this crazy. Right.
Oh boy, lots of things are there, my brother, that a lot of people that has done a lot in the business that is really, because you don't put yourself, I'm a very quiet person. I don't put myself in certain limelight to deal with certain people. So maybe that's why my thing is not recognized the way it should be. Right? If you're not aligned with certain politicians and certain things, you're not getting to do certain things. And I am not bowing to no one. Okay, and I don't. What I have done, I have done it because the Almighty has set me to do it, and I'm not looking any reward or award for what I have done or what I'm doing. I'm doing it, and I know that the Almighty will give me His reward or award, because I do a lot of charity thing too, and I don't charity, because if you're going to do something for someone, why advertise it?
No, you're not. That means you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for yourself to make you look good.
Yes, you're using it to catapult yourself. I do a lot of things after my extravaganza is when we finish with it. I do a lot of things that people don't know, right? Like, there are homeless people we deal with. There are this cancer society, lots of things. And I just do, because what I'm doing it to please me and please them. And I have to thank Him for making it possible to achieve what I wanted to achieve. To do, except I didn't even know I have the talent that I have.
It manifested when it needed to.
I have done some productions, music productions. I didn't know that I could do that. Right? Even when I did the rhythm, called the laminated rhythm with Kartel and Mafado, and I have Shaggy's on it, a lot of artists, and then I came back with other rhythm called the Steady Flow, and the One Up rhythm. Mikey Loss is on it. Mikey Loss is a talented artist, and he's a humble brother, and I big him up. He's one of the artists that really appreciate what I do for him. He's one of the artists from that time when he was Nigga Mikey.
Yes,
his contribution in the business.
You get it there. There was one name that we brought up a couple of times, Carl Young. How did the company feel at that time when Carl had passed away? Was he still the owner at that time, or what had happened at that time there?
Carl Young was the owner and is the owner and is the owner. He owns IRFM. All right? When he passed away, it was devastating to everybody. Because he was like he was a boss, but he was not a boss. All right? He allowed you to do yourself, do what you want, what you can do, and be honest with what you're doing. Right? And just follow his rules. For the 30 years I'm there, I was only late one time. One time I've been late, and he did not even say anything to me. He said, "GT, you deserve to be late." and when I went and I had a car problem because I live all the way in Black River, and I travel. Right, so it's a 3-hour ride, and when I had a car problem, and way before I called him, I said, "Boss, I'm gonna be late." He said, "Look, if you can't make it, don't work on." I said, "No, man, people," because radio is something that, especially Jamaican listeners, they're personality listeners. If they like you, they're going to be looking out for you. Right? So they are expecting to hear you at 10 p.m. in the night. They're expecting to hear me, "Can't sleep." All right. So I was late that night, and that's the only time. I try to be a professional, and he respect that. Right? And no matter what one's gonna say, he's not a pretty boss. I mean, fancy talking or fancy office thing or pretty dressing. He's a counter. You see him in the yard when you come out. Carl Young look like the security guard. All right, where Carl Young live? Him live in a little apartment with about 1 room, 2. So I said to him one day, I said, "Carl, you can call him Carl." I said, "Why you not build up on the rich house, big houses on the hill of Ochi? Why you didn't build a house up there?" He said, "How much room you can live into at a time?" He said, "You can only sleep in 1 room at a time." So that's the type of person he was. And he gave you, he let you do what you can do.
Mm.
And he respects you for that. And so we did miss Carlion.
Mm.
He turned it over to his son took over.
Mm.
He died. But but he passed at the early age of 22.
Crazy.
So to even, enjoy, or do anything. He didn't do anything. And Irie from Carlion did, to know Irie is an autopilot, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because all that everything that Irie is doing to date is the same thing that we created from that time.
Yeah.
So it's a force. And Carlion, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
he saw something. Well, like I said, Bob Clark gave him the idea, and when he saw that it was going to be something, he put everything that he could into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Crazy there. You've been on the radio 30 years. You've been doing so many things throughout your entire career. Was there ever a time where you actually fell out of love with the business?
Never.
Never.
If it come a Thursday or Friday night and I'm moving out, going to, because this is something I wanted to do, and I'm doing it for the love. I'm not doing it for the money. I mean, I would do it for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, IRFM, people think that you get a lot of big money.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it allows you to make money.
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to use your initiative and to make money, right? And Carlion didn't stop us. Let us do what we want to do. So I built GT promotion through IRFM.
Okay.
Right, and I run GT promotion now, and it's IRFM that I can do GT promotion. Mm-hmm. So I do it because I love doing it. I love going, that I'm talking to people. There's a gentleman here in Black River that come to me one day and said, GT, my son want to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk to you. I said, why? He said his son is a doctor. Right? But he has something to say to you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what? There's something special.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, bring him, come, and I made a time. And he came and he said to me, GT, he said, he used to go to the University of the Hospital, the University of the West Indies. That's where he used to study. And he says, my program helped him to be the doctor he is today.
Wow.
He says, by listening to me in the night, he was able to study. And he says, if he asked me what he could bring, he can send back for me or what I want or whatever, He says, and he's not the only one. Lots of kids that I know, doctors and lawyers. So GT,
Mm-hmm.
your nighttime program on radio, help us to study. So that's all I would ever want to hear or to get.
Mm-hmm.
That is my reward and my pay, and I feel good to know that I can do that. Inspired people both to move through to achieve what they want to achieve by studying, and both to people, copying what I do,
mm-hmm.
because a lot of people all over the world on radio, a lot of them follow GT.
Mm-hmm.
The younger, the newer ones. I did follow. I'll copy someone else.
For sure.
So, that's how it is. So I just feel good for what I was able to do and what I'm able to do in this business.
Like that. Before I get you out of here, I got one last one for you here. Been in the pandemic and everything, and I've seen something pop up called GT Radio. Talk to me about this here.
GT Reggae Radio.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the pandemic came on in March last year, and they were because of my age and certain things, they're saying that we were supposed to work from home.
Mm-hmm.
So they sent the engineer to my home and to see if we could put something together. I had some equipment, so they started to show me, about the streaming thing and all of that, and I said, wow. I think back to myself and say, when I leave IRFM, I'm not going to work I'm not going to another radio station.
For sure.
Right? So I'm saying I would like to establish something that I'll go to and stay with, because I want to do radio like that. Right? So that is how I said, okay, I'm going to look into this. And I looked into it and found out the streamers and got my everything together. And I launched GT Reggae Radio. I did not even know when I started out. You know how the internet thing is.
Mm-hmm.
Not much listeners, but as the word spread, and I didn't know so many people know my name. And so I use the name GT as a GT Reggae Radio. It has become a force out there to reckon with at this time. I do it straight right from my house. It's I mainly do stream continuous music, reggae though, and I do all authentic reggae, mostly, and it's a family radio, because on the internet you can do anything, but I want to do something that a family can be riding on the highway and keep listening to reggae music. And, I also want to really continue to preserve Jamaica reggae music. By doing this, and I am able to really spread the real reggae, the authentic reggae, to the world. Because, of course, you have seen that the Jamaican music has changed, right? It has changed, and I'm really upset with the younger producers and younger artists, because they are not hugging up or grasping what the Toots, the Tommy McCook, Toots and the Maytals, the Bob Marleys, the Peter Tosh, the Stalwarts, what they have, the Derek Morgan, the Derek Harriets, these people have built reggae music. The world love reggae music. The world want reggae music. And to date, people outside of Jamaica, of different ethnic culture, is making more money out of reggae than Jamaicans. And the Jamaican producers know, because they're not promoting or presenting or producing reggae anymore. Or, I am so upset about this, because this is another story. Trust me.
No, talk. I want to hear, especially from somebody like you that's been around for so long and you're a radio presenter, and you still kept your name, the Dancehall Master. That means you're still into dancehall. So then clearly you know that if there's some type of shift, you will feel it, you'll understand, and you'll know that there's something that doesn't sit too right in your soul, especially you don't want it to sound like 90s. You don't mind if it sounds like 2021, but it still has to have that element that started from way back when.
Like I'm saying, nothing wrong with change. We have been changing music. Jamaica music started from mento. Okay? Then we went to ska. Then from ska, we went to rocksteady. Then from rocksteady, reggae, then reggae, dancehall. But all of these, right, maintain a Jamaican touch in them. Okay? The latest, dancehall. When I say dancehall, I am dealing with the authentic dancehall, right? But the latest dancehall would be the Jamaica dancehall that I'm talking. I'm not talking about the music they're calling dancehall. I'm thinking about the dancehall that started in the late 80s, right? And it went on into nearly 2000. Okay, that's the best of Jamaica original dancehall music, right? It started in the 80s and it stopped there in the 2000s. After that, we Jamaicans start to do crossover music. This new beat that we have now is not Jamaican. It's not Jamaican. Why not still put a little Jamaican touch? That's why I have to lift my hat to Shaggy, Spice. See what they did? They came back with this song. They put a little of the 90s touch into it. Listen to it closely. And whenever you do that, you'll have a hit, and you have the Jamaican, and the world will hug it up, because that is what they want. They want to hear the Jamaican touch. This new beat that they have called the trap, it's not Jamaica. It's American R&B. Right? And to me, a lot of these young artists, they want to be, to me, it's like they want to be a rap artist more than a reggae artist, a Jamaican artist. Right? I also made a statement to the Grammy people, and I'm saying it here now again. Right? They have to categorize the reggae category a little more. If you're going to have reggae album Grammy, it should be a reggae Grammy. Okay? You cannot have an album coming into the reggae category, and when you listen to the album, you don't hear any reggae music on there. Right? Not you. So if you're going to have trap, and I have nothing against new music or new thing. I have nothing against it. So if they come up with this new trap and they say Jamaican trap, okay, Grammy, give me a category for Jamaican trap. But let reggae category be reggae category. Authentic reggae category, whether the person is from Australia, Israel, wherever, doing is reggae, let it be a reggae category.
Got you.
And not a crossover getting a reggae Grammy album. Right? And that is my beef there. Right? And also the Jamaica producers, no. I'm saying to them, please put back the musicians in the music. They have taken the musicians out of the music, so you're not getting the music anymore. Our stalwart musicians in Jamaica, a lot of them is actually dying for hungry. The professional musicians, because everybody is making a beat. Beat is what coming out of Jamaica now. Beat. And where it goes. Where? It's like pop, it's like cotton candy, the music that's coming out. Cotton candy music. Put it in your mouth, it fade away. 2 weeks and it's gone. Yeah. And I am saying that, right? I went on my online radio and my on IRFM, all my emails out to Europe or anywhere, Australia and these places, Czechoslovakia. GT, why cannot we? What happened to the real reggae music coming out of Jamaica? Where is it? Where is it? We need it. Look at the festivals that's happening in Europe. You can bring an artist, you can bring a Burabantan and them draw more crowd than any one of these artists today.
So crazy out there.
Right? I say to them, reggae music, reggae music is yours. Use it. I remember Beres Hammond, I should say this first.
Oh, don't worry. It's good.
Beres Hammond he used to sing with Zappo Band. He's a lead singer with Zappo Band. We used to be they used to rehearse right at where we used to have our union, the Jamaica Federation of Musicians union meeting. And we used to be right there, right? And we always, Beres a wicked soul singer. And he, lead singer for, and it's pure soul songs. And we used to say to Beres, do some reggae, man, go reggae. I said, remember, I think it was Sonny Brothers said to him that, look, Beres, your songs, you know that RCA or Sony will take one of your lyrics and give it to Curtis Mayfield or somebody to sing it instead of letting you sing it. Because they already spend money in those American artists. So if they give them a good song, it's gonna sell. But if you sing a reggae song and it makes sense, they're gonna buy it. And from very start to do reggae, the rest is history.
Crazy.
So when an artist is gonna say they're gonna try to make it and they want to be a pop star, they can use reggae music or reggae or 90s dancehall and become a star. Sean Paul stick to it.
He gave you pure dancehall. That's what broke Sean Paul was a real hardcore dancehall rhythm.
Showing you that he can stick to Jamaica 90s dancehall and be a hit. You must have to switch it up a bit and put a little new thing. I think nothing is wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But you keep the basic in there. Right? So I am asking them to put back the musicians in the music. So that we can have music again, and people can, will be able to dance, and they can become stars from Jamaica. Not a 1 night or 2 weeks, a sensation. Or you have to create some form of controversy to be in the spotlight as an artist. Because that is what's happening now. Artists have to be controversial, or some for the Jamaican artists have to be controversial or creating something to be in social media, because social media is an everyday phenomenon. They have to do something every day to stay there. Get back into the talent. Get back into what give you. Love your culture. Right? Deal with your music. Right? You have it. God has given it to you. Others have paved the way. The Leroy Siblis and these people have made it and paved the way. All right. So all you have to do, you have the platform there. It says laid out for you. The blueprint is set out. All you have to do is just follow. Put in your little thing here and there. And the world is asking for reggae music or Jamaican music, Jamaican reggae and Jamaican dancehall music.
Crazy. Said by the dancehall master himself.
Might not agree with what I say, but that's how I see it. And that's what I get from my business. And that's why GT Reggae Radio is being accepted, because I am presenting strictly Jamaican authentic music, whether it is dancehall or reggae. Jamaican it is. And clean, positive music, conscious lyrics. Artists, if you are doing anything about killing or certain things or anything derogatory, don't say. I don't play, even I tell people on Irie, I will go on and I don't have to play a top 10 tune, a tune that is made as is a hit right now. I don't have to.
Yeah. Because
there are so much music there to play that people want to hear. So just do what is right. Let us keep the black, gold, and green high, and let us keep our music out there. We are passing the baton on, and I'm saying to young radio disc jocks, for Jamaican disc jocks, wherever you are, please play quality music. Please play quality Jamaican reggae music, whether it is the dancehall or it is reggae. Make sure it is quality. Make sure it has a message to the people.
Said by the master himself. You couldn't ask for anything else. Leave some handles, websites, wherever they could check you out so they could see what the dancehall master is up to.
Right. Check me out. You can go to www.gtreggaeradio.live. That's my website. You can go there and just browse and keep in touch. I am on live. I do 2 live programs. One on a Sunday, which is called the Sunday Cruise. It's all retro. Take you back in time, the cruise Raytown style and all. And, dig up the memories, a cruise through the 60s, 70s, and into the 80s. And on Mondays now, I go with new music out of Jamaica, new quality reggae music, and dancehall music too, if it has a message, all right? And also interviews and more. So that's it, the GT Reggae Radio Plus, 24 hours a day streaming, continuous quality reggae music. You can use it as a good companion if you're doing long drive, truckers, it's good for them. Or if you have a business place, you can play it as a background music because it's continuous reggae music, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 2 live shows though, Sundays and Mondays. www.gtreggaeradio.live. Or I'm on a whole lot of radio platforms. I'm on TuneIn, I'm on Turner app, Shake Radio, I'm on Radio Box, Radio Garden, and a whole lot. So check it out, no? And if you like it, you say something, tell something,
All right.
or hit me up. My email address, again, it's gtreggaeradio@gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram, GT Enterprises, GT Reggae Radio, GT_Reggae Radio_ Instagram, and on Facebook, GT Taylor, and also GT Reggae Radio Facebook. That's where I'm at.
Mr. Taylor, this has been a crazy, epic, mad conversation. And again, it's like I didn't know it was going to take this direction here because it's like, holy smokes. But again, there's still, I think this is a great base to where we need to go because there's still a couple more times we need to catch up because there's still so much more in the journey. But this right here has been nothing short of amazing, Big Boss.
Boswell, I just, sorry, I really didn't, jot it down that I could flow for you.
No, you flowed exactly because you're used to the radio format and it goes from here to there. We're on a podcast, so we could speak it the way how you remember it. You understand?
Yes. Boy, I want to say thanks for the platform. Thanks much. And it was a pleasure, chit-chatting with you here and giving you some American secrets. Letting you know that I'm not that bright person from with a lot of papers behind my name. But, it's a humble little person, and I'm still want to stay humble as I can going forward. And I want to say thanks to the Almighty God for giving me life. And also, I want to say to everyone out there in these times, remember the Almighty God is real. Remember, He'll do anything that you ask for. He'll do it. And remember, the greatest gift He can give to you is life. Respect it, love it, and respect your brother and your sister. I always say we are living in the world. The world is one big house. We're just living in different rooms. I'm asking you now, just step out of your room, look down the corridor, wave to your brother and sister, and make this work. Enough love.
Couldn't ask for a better outro. Let me give you an outro and get you out of here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out. This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinesmusichut.com.